Dear USA, all nations and 7.9 plus billions of humans, I hope we are all on the same page on this very, very crucial, very, very, very important civil justice sign-off I'm providing for myself, for I am Vethapriya, PROSE. And it is because, one more time I want to repeat, it is because United States of American nation with fatal negligence created the robocall poverty mandate and enforced poverty to I, and enforced financial disability to I, and enforced finance debt to I, and that is the deadliest crime for any nation. And sadly, saddest reality is United States of American nation with fatal negligence provided that crime. Okay, so that is why I'm signing off this civil justice. Now, on the other side, it's a multitasking. I've been saying, educating, that it's also multitasking. So if you have been with me listening to the earlier 3 or 4 sessions regarding that civil justice sign-off provided on the highest level for Microsoft, Google, Apple, and then software and hardware, right, for the Hewlett-Packard, Dell, and Intel. Now the last session on that category is for programming, software programming languages, right? So to be on the same page, if you all missed on the earlier sessions, I will again one more time repeat it for people who did not get an opportunity to go through the earlier sessions. You can go through the earlier sessions as and when you're needed. So I classified the software in a 3 categories, right? It's for an easy layman level of education, right? Because the audience is, there will be software professionals and there will be non-software professionals, there will be medical professionals, right? So that means me educating in a very layman, very basic level only. Got it? So that means a doctor will understand, a layman who never went to school can understand, right? Only the roadblock which I could think of is I am talking in English, right? But then there are a long list of spoken languages worldwide. So probably I have to work on how to provide the translation, or I'm absolutely positive there can be any there will be any healthy translation services which I have to work on that, right? Other than that, I don't think it's a barrier, because like let's say if there are people who are bilingual, who can understand English, can just translate it in Tamil to Tamil speaking population, or German speaking population, right, or a French speaking population, or Chinese speaking population. So I think that's from that side, I think we are still okay. But only thing, it will be helpful if I'm providing this video session in all languages, right? So I have to work on it. Is there any features available wherein I could include that as well? Okay, just give me some time. It's a learning phase for me, learning curve for me. Even these video sessions are all learning curve only. I'm just doing it with whatever best ability I'm providing. Okay. Now, tell me, okay, I told I want to recap, right? Okay. So first I said all the software people on the highest hierarchies were browsers. So no browsers, no software. Got it? So that means, let's say if a civilian wants to go to a Best Buy or a Walmart and want to get a desktop or a laptop, without browser, there will never be any laptop. So without browsers, Hewlett-Packard and Dell and Intel, they will not have any job. Got it? If they are not having any job, then we civilians cannot go to the grocery or the retails, Amazon like that, and get laptop. It's all a chain reaction only. It's a team effort, right? It's a team process. Now, so to be on the same page, Who are the browsers manufacturers? I will say it that is a very layman way of saying, right? Who are the manufacturers of browsers? The browsers for Microsoft, they have their own browser, right? I already educated. Then the Google also came up with their own browsers. It came very recently only, maybe few years. So, and Apple came up with their own browsers. So those are the three mainly used browsers, but there are other browsers as well, like Firefox, Mozilla, and Opera, like that, right? But then these three are the mainly used. So that's why I'm using the term highest level. So that means you name any browser. I think there was long time back there was long list of browsers, but then I don't know whether they are still there or they got shut down. I don't know. Okay, let's not get into that detail right now. Any browser that comes under this umbrella only. Okay, so if the Microsoft, Google, and Apple fixes their error, the design error, then all the browsers by default will be getting fixed. That's what it's meaning about. If Hewlett-Packard and Dell and Intel works on to fix their design errors, bottom line, the Lexus, not Lexus, it's a car thing, right? Sorry about that. Lenovo. Am I pronouncing it correctly? I think so. Lenovo, Asus, right? And Toshiba. There are so many laptops brands, right? Asian brands and so on and so forth. So those all come under the umbrella of Hewlett-Packard. So if Hewlett-Packard and Dell gets fixing their design solutions, then by default all the other brands also will get fixed. Okay, now first layer is gone. I mean, I provided the solution, I displayed the error, and I also provided the solution. The second layer also, I provided the error display, and I also provided the solution, how to fix it and all that stuff, right? And anyways, they are going to pay me $500,000 billion because I never asked for any adverse software. I don't know about my peers. I never asked for any adverse software. So the moment they provided adverse software of any kind, it is a software world, they have to pay me $500,000 billion. It's as simple as that. Otherwise, they should have rethought, the design process, or even after my education, they should have, redesigned it. But they never did it. They just ignored, and now they have to pay the price. That's all. It's as simple as that. Like how cool it is to hurt fellow mankind. Same way, let them pay the money, right? Then they will know. Then only Microsoft, Google, and Apple will know. Oh my gosh. Oh, this lady, she provided wisdom education, we just ignored it, and they will work on the redesign process, right? Okay, now, what is the third one? Third one is very generic, got it? So, if you're going to see the first layer, Microsoft, Google, Apple, and other browsers, they are first layer in the software world. Then, second layer is what? The shell, the laptop, the desktop, they have to build it, right? So that is provided by Hewlett-Packard, Dell, and then the motherboard, the microprocessor, the core operation of the computers, they are just provided by Intel. And that is the big family, and the other competitors comes under that family only. Okay. Now, the third one is so generic, means what? What is a generic? It's not like a wild card where it can be used like a joker in a card game, right? When we play or playing rummy, like the cards, the wild card and the joker usage is totally different, right? It can be fit into any thing to make it a grouping like that. But then this one is generic, means it can fit in anywhere. It is it looks like, sounds like, almost like a wild card or a joker, right? But it's not. It says that it is talks about the flexibility, meaning compatibility. So that means this particular civil justice sign which I'm providing as a multitasking, I'm talking about the generic means. The software programming languages will not say, oh, it is a Google Chrome browser. Sorry, I will not work on that Chrome browser at all. No, like that. Got it? Or if there is a Windows software, right? Windows operating system, then the generic software languages, they will not say, oh, is that the Windows? Not the windows on the house, right? I'm just kidding, my dear fellow mankind. I don't know why they came up with that name Windows, but it's just the Windows. Okay, we all know how the software have been evolved in those past years, right? When Microsoft is a parent, I would say, like a grandpa more, right? Because when the software revolution was just started, the Microsoft was ruling worldwide. That is the reality. See, the Apple were thinking they want to make it like a very, very specific audience only. It is very tough. And they want to create a picture as if who are using those Apple Macs are very intelligent, like that. But then it's not, right? Then these people, the Microsoft, the founder, the Bill Gates, wanted to reach out to anywhere. When you go to remote village, municipality, anywhere, even non-educated population can also start working on the Windows. Like that he created. So both of them are different personalities. Got it? Apple and Microsoft are different personalities is the reality. I don't think they are rivalries, but then they will have their own, healthy ego, right? Because both of them want to provide the same kind of services to the world, but in a different way. And they thought, let Mac be Mac itself. So when Windows was reaching out to all the people, who came and saved Apple, I already said it's Steve Jobs. He thought, okay, it is the hardest truth that Microsoft is ruling worldwide. Why can't Mac step in even though missed the bus? Why can't Mac also step in that business? And he thought, okay, why can't we bring that Mac itself in the hands of the civilians? And for that, he created the mobile design. See, the cost is only for the design, my dear fellow mankind. Got it? The cost is only for the design after all. Okay? So, I don't know about my peers. I love arts. Okay? And this is a little bit of me. Okay? I like sketching. Like, the pencil, and if there is a picture, seeing that picture, I can sketch it. I like that. Okay, and I'm a good designer, according to me. Okay, I love designing. I'm an excellent designer. Meaning, even for the plants to be placed in the garden, I will just work on my homework from myself, and I will see, okay, these plants, these are perennial plants, or these are spring plants, or these are summer plants. Okay, let's place it like this, so in a combination, whether the spring plants means, let's say if there is a tulips means, I will provide a combination. Instead of having just one color, I will pick and choose whatever color I want, and I provide it as a combination. So once when the tulip pops up during the springtime, it will be a colorful tulip bunch, like that. So, or if it's a rose plant, I will try to make a colorful combination. So that is for gardening. And even for for cooking, and I love cooking. Okay, and whenever I cook with love. Okay, I add that love in the cooking. And I don't know about my other peers, but when I cook and when I provide it, I provide with that presentation. Like you all know, after cooking, the chef, the good chefs, they are good in presentation, right? Like that. But then, and even the furniture, like that, I know I like my way of designing part of it. Oh, this is where, if these things are here, it look good like that. Or if this is not there, then that will not look good like that. So I love designing. So that's pretty much it on my end, okay? And so that is why I like design, okay? So even the color combinations, where when I'm looking for clothing, shopping, or anything, I provide whatever best of the design I could provide. Okay, I think it is my understanding that I have a good dress sense, but that's just me. Maybe my peers will not even like my, whatever design I provide or whatever liking, but it's just me. And so this is a little bit of me. Okay, I love designing. I think I have a good sense of design. Okay, and I would rate myself as an excellent designer. Okay, in a scale of 1 to 10. So that's because obviously I love designing. That's the main part, and I love arts, and I love music. Okay. So that's pretty much it from my end. So yes, the designing part, it is my understanding, a true designer can easily find an error in the design. Okay. But then, what is the not good part is people will not like it, right? Hey, there's an error in this design means people will not like it. That's the truth. That's the reality. So that means already when I say correct is correct, wrong is wrong, people will either love me or hate me. That's one part. Then I already said I'm so reserved. I will not talk. It will take long time for me to talk. But once when I start talking to the people, it'll be cleanest love forever. Okay, blindest faith, blindest trust, like that. And I like to laugh out loud, right? Now, that's how I am, my brain processing. So then comes the designing part. So when it is coming to the designing part, when I'm saying, oh no, this design is not looking good, no, why can't it be redesigned this way? Or, then people will not like it. That's the reality, because everybody has their own taste, right? So some will like rose plants, some will hate rose plants. Some will like tulips and some will hate tulips, right? Or some will like fruit trees or some will hate fruit trees, like apple trees, like that. So that's why it goes on case by case basis. Right. So from my end, that is why I can handle when people are, in a different interest or that's a conflict of interest, right? So that means when I like, my peers might hate it. When my peers can hate, whatever my peers can hate, I can like it. So it goes by case basis. But now tell me, okay, yeah, that's a difference, right? They tell how to say that. Now, let's say in a workplace, let's say for 10 years or 20 years or 30 years or 50 years, I would not go beyond 50 years because software world is not that old. It's very, very young public services, right? It's still evolving. It's still only evolving, but I think it is evolving in a rightful way because of my wisdom education only, right? So now tell me how much of labor they would have put on that browsers, right? Be it Apple, be it Safari, or be it Apple, be it Google, or be it Microsoft. How much of labor they would have provided, right? It's a lot. But then all of a sudden I'm just standing up out of the nowhere. That means how many people? 7.9 plus billions of population, right? I just stood up, I slapped on Microsoft, I slapped on Google, I slapped on Apple, and I said, hey, design is wrong. The entire design is wrong. So tell me, what would they have said at the first time? Let's be transparent on that. And we all are on the same page, right? We are all civilians. We all know what is the generic level of brain operates. So absolutely, what would they have done? Apple would have cursed me to death, right? That's a normal brain function. Or Google should have cursed me to that, right? Or Microsoft would have cursed me to that, because they have been in the market for so long. That means market means what? They are, without those three browsers, there cannot be any public sectors. And that too in the public sectors, only Microsoft products only they are using. Google, I already said, Google, Apple are classified as specialty browsers, meaning it's very rarely used browsers. But in the public sector, they are using only Microsoft. So in that end, Microsoft had got the long-term contract forevermore. Got it. Even if they miss that mobile part of it, they miss that buzz. I think they should be even working on that end to get back into that mobile, Microsoft created mobile part of it. They just lost that space, because Apple and Google were so fastest in coming up with that. So, but that's my end, because see, you name any product in Apple and Google, Microsoft will be having it. So it's just that they are little bit lagging on this mobile part of it, and I think they will surely be in the business on that end too. That's my understanding, but I'm not sure on where they are at now. So tell me, I'm just standing up and saying, hey, Microsoft, all your design is wrong. Hey, Apple, all your browser design is wrong. Hey, Google. See, Google is, innocent meaning, very, very youngest software public services, Google. And the way youngest is Facebook and Twitter. So that's why I just want to just separate them aside. Now tell me what they should have really cursed me to them, right? Because how much of labor they would have put on creating the browser. It is not easy. See, I am saying it is wrong. And it's easy for me to say it's wrong. But then, yes, beyond I'm saying it's wrong, I can absolutely understand the labor people have put on that, building those browsers. It's a lot of labor. They have shed their blood and they have worked on it day by day. Sometimes this workload may be more. So then even during weekends or even during holidays, they would have shed their blood and worked to have that browser, to be used. So sometimes if they are very much time bounded or meet the deadlines, people have to work night and day mode, like how doctors are on call mode, like that. But then, at what cost? At what cost? I have to say, at any cost, right? Meaning, entire software world will be cursing me to them. Not only Apple, not only Google, not only Microsoft, right? I already said what? Like entertainment is an ocean, software world is an ocean. So I'm just providing only 3 levels of the highest hierarchy. Without browsers, no software, period. So when we fix that browser part, everything will get fixed. That's the meaning of my wisdom after all. So, okay, one side I'm an average civilian. If they're going to accuse me, it's not going to impact me, because my brain can handle anything. I already said, okay, if you all want to, if the civilians love mocking, bullying, just do mock and bully me, means I can handle it. That's what I can handle it in a healthy way. So in other words, if Microsoft, Google and Apple, beyond cursing me, they want to spit on my face and being very much angry, because I'm just displaying the crime, the fault, right? So then, see, people getting angry when in two ways, okay? Healthy anger and unhealthy anger. If you're going to look into that root cause for the unhealthy anger, always it is when someone displays the fault, right? So I am displaying what? Apple is at fault mode, right? Found guilty in all counts of crime of Vatican. So that is deadliest crime. So Apple cannot say, sorry, we never knew it's Pope Francis is a criminal, right? So the same thing, Google cannot say, sorry, we don't know, we never know that Pope Francis is a true health creator. Or Microsoft cannot say that. But what I am saying, so that is why, okay, one side I am a civilian, okay, so they can accuse me, they can curse me to death, or they can spit on my face, because that much labor is gone in vain, right? When I am saying, hey, all your design is wrong, all your browser is wrong, means it's easy for me to say in one sentence it's wrong. But for them to accept that reality will take time, because it is too much of a brain shock for them. Right? But what did I say? What did I educate? Even when I educated mode, yes, they would have been in super mad, super hungry mode, because I displayed their at fault mode. But beyond that, they understood my wisdom education after all. Apple, Microsoft, and Google, they admitted they made a hell lot of mistake in the design itself. That is foundation level design error. So tell me, when a foundation stone, in any building, right? Like when you're building a house, always it starts with only one cornerstone. That is why people tell the foundation must be good. I would say healthy, right? Otherwise everything will crumble into pieces. And that is exactly what happened to, what's happened or what happening to Apple, Microsoft and Google. Got it? Without browsers, there is no software world, means, okay, when there is a design error in their browsers itself, means what happened? All the software gets crashed in pieces. Got it? So that is why they are in a panic mode. That is why software world fears me only. Okay, so as a civil doctor, for me, even if the Apple, Google or Microsoft, they are going to accuse me or curse me to death or even spit on my face, for me, I'll just take it easy, because as a civil doctor, I know how the brains work when, foolish brains work. So I'm able to handle it. Okay, I am just providing wisdom and I'm just helping them in the rightful way after all. That is why I already provided the guidelines, I already provided the task, what they have to do, everything I provided. If it is today they not provide those tasks, then it is their problem, it's not my problem. Got it? So, yes, the design level is wrong, error is wrong. So what did I do? Do you all know why exactly the Microsoft Windows, immediately with my wisdom education, they provided us different teams to have Windows to be transitioned once and for all as Windows Edge, right? So that it's a good start for them. Like when they were lagging behind, Apple went far and Google went far, right? In the race, Google came first after all. Even Apple also lagging behind only. So then imagine how much of pressure, how much of that little bit of that emotion level, how, oh no, we are lagging behind kind of mode. But then with my education, they took that as a healthy way. That is beyond, that means they understood why I am saying there is a design error. I would put it that way. Only when there is no understanding, miscommunication, then there will be unhealthy error. So yes, first when I said the design error, yeah, all your browsers are errored. means they should have only accused me, cursed me to death and spit it on my face. That is a normal human operation, healthy way. But then later on, once when they understood my wisdom education, why exactly I'm saying that browsers are design errored, then they understood. Oh, okay. Then they listened to me, and then I provided education to them, even to the Microsoft and Apple and Safari, and I told, okay, you all created the browser. Why on the other there is parental control? And they got the shock. Oh my gosh. And then I asked, okay, you all created browser. What usage is the tabs you all created for? They started to puke. Because whether you've been using Windows or Safari or Chrome, you all know that evolution of how the tabs came up with. Right? Today, yes, they are evolved. The tabs usage has been evolved and still it's only evolving. So, what education I provide? See, hey, when people is logged in one page and doing a transaction, a secured transaction, whether it can be a bank or anything, right? And then when the other tabs are opened, the information is getting copied or translation like that. That is wrong. I explained that. So for example, it is my understanding, whenever you enter anything in the Chrome browser, the Chrome collects it. So for example, if you're going to enter in a field where it says enter your name, John Doe, like that means it saves that John Doe in one page. Now let me, when people are working in their home, not workplace, even in a regular day-to-day chores, they will be using their laptop, right? So they'll be browsing Amazon for shopping, or they'll be browsing for a loan like that. Now, what if this Chrome collecting the data and passing out to the other tabs? That is wrong. Can you all see how on a minute detail I explained to them why their design errors, about their browser's design errors, and how even beyond that initial frustration mode, they just understood my wisdom education. Got it? And they are the happiest people after all. Because few years back I provided all design solutions. I displayed error. See, that is why a true designer can easily identify the wrong in the design. If something is wrong, something is just not right, the true designer will upfront say it at the cost of being hated or what, right? So that means if at the cost of entire software world being hating me, I just stood up and said, hey, your process is wrong upfront. Nobody in the software world were dare enough to stand up and say. Why? Because survival mode, right? Now let's say if I was working in Apple or Google or Microsoft and I said the same thing, what would happen? You all know what would happen. They would have fired me. Right? Because it is too much of labor and everything is vain when I'm saying, hey, your design is wrong, right? And they would have just fired me upfront. But then at the cost of being hated, only I stood up and I said, it is wrong. Got it? So it is like, okay, you do whatever, it is wrong. Your design is wrong. Apple, you cannot boast that your designed Safari browser is good. No, it is wrong. So I was explaining to them on a detailed mode. Okay, this is only a tab part of it. And with my education only, for the past few years alone, Google worked on how to provide healthy tab usages. And Microsoft started to provide healthy tab usage, and even Safari. That is why they are providing everyday code patches. If you see in your laptops or computers, every now and then they'll say there's a update, there's a version, means whatever I was providing education, they realized that mistake, whatever they did. I already said Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, he accepted the error for Alt, Control and Delete button, right? That's the design part of it, right? So that is why there is a thin layer always in a design. See, once when you look into the quality of the product, people go on a various factors, right? So whatever I'm going to look for quality on the product, it's not the same. It will be for my peers. It will be different. But then for my brain processing, I love design, right? So I like that whatever the design, I look for the design part of it, right? So the tab part of it. So Microsoft's evolution for tab functionality itself, it took too many years, I would say, right? Because you all might have been aware of how 95%, I would say, or I would say even 98 or 99%, only 1% of the people were using only Mac. Meaning nobody even knew that there was Mac was existing, because Microsoft was just ruling. Microsoft was a king like that, for the all nations like that, it was ruling. So that means you all, entire human kingdom would have, gone in that memory lane of how that Microsoft itself got evolved in a baby steps only, right? So the tab functionality I explained to them, right? I educated and they understood and they worked on it. Then I said, I also educated, okay, why there is parental control? Why people have to waste on that functionality at the first place? Then they got a shock. Oh my gosh, how on the earth we forgot that? There is no need for a parental control, isn't right? Because I said, when a design is created, when a product, or it should be very simplest design. See, that is why how to rate a excellent design means a true designer knows a design should be in a simplest form. Very simplest. Anybody should be able to do it in a click of a button, right? There never needs to be an education needed, maybe here and there that help. But then on a generic level, anybody should be able to use it. That is the excellent design after all. So that is what I educated to them. So, okay, parental control, basic thing, it's my understanding is whenever there are children at households, the elder people, they want to provide, okay, only certain things the children can, access, certain things cannot, like that. But then a friend said, what is the scope? What is the need for that functionality? See, each whole household, whether they are having children or not, this product, whenever they are providing a laptop or a computer or a desktop, it should be user-friendly and it should be safest mode for anybody to use it. Whether it can be grandpa, whether it can be grandma, right? Whether it can be older age population, whether it is middle age population, whether it is younger age population, whether it is toddler, everything, everybody should be using that product in an easy, simplest way. So when I educated that why on the earth there need be a parental control, they got the shock. Oh my gosh, for how long they have been in the software world? Forever. Since day one, I would say. Since day one, the Microsoft is there. You all know that red, white, plastic color, that screen, right? How heavy it used to be. So those are all the nice memory lanes that I would, think about. Because any software for that matter, without Microsoft, nothing like that. So Microsoft was still then ruling and still ruling only. Okay, so I educated about the tab functionality, redesign it. I slapped on the face of Google, Apple and Microsoft and I told, go redesign it. Then I said, why there is a parental control? Go redesign it. Then I went and educated about the favorites, the bookmarks, the history, and all that stuff. So I said, go redesign it, make it more safest way, right? Because when people are browsing, they might like some links, or they might want to work on those later, and they might add it in their favorites. So provide the safest process for that. And with my education, they started to provide all this private, secured way for workplaces also. Got it? Because I already said public sectors is more secured because they are going to do a lot of transactions. So when I was educating, side by side, even beyond redesigning the browsers part, they were providing the same kind of excellent safety measures for the public sectors and private sectors also. That is why when you are going to the workplace in the private sectors or the public sectors, the browsers you all work is all very secure. They will, you can see the difference. It will not be the same as how it's used in the households. Because of my education only they provided that. So that means just for that design solution I provided alone, Apple must have paid me a lot of salary. Google must have paid me a lot of salary. And who is the other one? Google, Apple, and Microsoft, right? Okay, just leave them. If they are not able to, at least USA government should have provided me this salary. But they never did that. But, okay, so I educated on only two important things. Then what more I educated? Hey, there is private browsing and public browsing. What is the scope? What is the need for that? And they were starting to puke. They must have even passed out, by fainting. Oh my gosh, is this lady a robo, or is this lady what? Is this lady a magician, like that? Because I was just cracking down on all the errors and displaying only design errors. Not even detailed software errors. I'm not going into that extent itself. I just said why there is private browsing and public browsing. Why there is a software cost provided for private browsing, and what is the need? What is the scope? And they were just shocked to see and realize their errors on the browsers. Right? So that itself is a proof that they are men's club, right? You name Apple, you name Google, or you name Microsoft, they are men's club. So they are thinking everything was in a very low level. I would say low level means they are innocent, right? So they are less wisdom. Okay, let me put it that way. Versus, yes, there were women who should also were working on side by side with them, but they never bothered to step in and educate them. So that itself is a proof that there are no women, right? Women, when there are no women, means the women are more evil. Like how women are more evil in medical field, how women are evil in the politics, right? The same way, so all the women in the software world are also super evil. So that is why they never stepped in and guided the software in a healthy way. And because it's a men's club, they decided, according to the will and pleasure, they want to design the product according to their things. But they never thought, Apple never thought, or Google never thought, Microsoft never ever must have thought. One fine day in 2021, they will have to face the judgment process in front of all nations. And this lady, this wisest lady, Vethapriya, is going to sign off the civil justice for them. I already said I will only seal and shut down all the 3 software companies, classifying it as a human endangerment, family bonding endangerment. But I already said I am super empath, right? And I know how many people are employed in those companies, and they wait for the monthly paycheck to feed their families and children. So I do not, so that is why I said, okay, I will bail out, but go and redesign your browser. Just redesign it. I never asked for any adverse software. Go redesign it. And this is what I educated. Then I educated about the favorites that you all might have seen, that are favorites, bookmarks. It's basically like you can just save it for later usage like that. That's all. But then when there is a design error that is very crucial, the data can be shared. That is wrong, right? Unless and until if it is a consent. Okay, if I want to share my data, I would say it out loud. That is my will and pleasure. Nobody have any birthrights to say, oh, no, you cannot tell like that. No, that's my birthright. So, but then it should be on an individual's basis only. And without without the end user's consent, Apple, Google, and Microsoft do not have any birthright to share the information, whatever the civilians are using it. They already paid all the tax. When they are paying $1,000 for a laptop, they are not paying only $1,000. They are paying state tax for that. They are paying federal tax for that, and maintenance tax for each and every single software product that they want to have. So that means it's not cheap. They are not getting it for free, but it should have been free only. Civilians should get all the national benefits only free. So that is a separate scandal altogether. I'm handling, and I know how to handle those. So, so tell me, the browser is the first step. You need to have browser, right? When the browser itself is wrong, everything is wrong. Got it? So I educated favorites, bookmarks, clean it up, redesign it. And then I came to the address bar. Remember, if you go to any browser, there will be an option for a user to enter what website they want to enter it, right? So I took that address bar and I educated them. Educated who? Microsoft, Apple, and Google. And the more when I was educating wisdom, they were thinking I am the super microprocessor, fastest than any robot. Because when I was educating, it was like not only Google, not only Microsoft, everybody gets the education at the same time. Got it? So if my education is wrongful, then they would say it's wrong. But whatever I was saying, even in this discipline mode, it was correct, right? And they thought, okay, and that is how they came up with the address bar in a more secured way. So I educated, hey, the design itself is wrong, and why on the earth the browser is allowing people to enter into the address websites, phone websites. They should never be allowed to enter those in the address bar at the first place. Or even on the Intel chip designing process, that should not even allow to enter user to type in the porn sites or adult content websites. So then they were really in a mode, okay, beyond that fainting mode, right, beyond the tears of shame mode, guilt mode of, oh no, they created a lot of mistake in the browsing design mode. They took only my wisdom education and they worked on, and still they are working on those tasks. Got it? That is how you can see that lock sign on the address bars nowadays, be it Safari, be it Chrome, be it Microsoft. You can see that lock sign means it was because of my education, wisdom education. So that labor alone, imagine that's $1 trillion labor. I provide the design solutions only. They listen to my wisdom education, that is all. I never went at the back and even checked on them whether they provided the design or not. No, I did not. I was not having time. I was only educating. That is all. I was only talking, educating like that. They were just listening quietly to me. So then I also educated. Okay, there is the catch and cookies. That is a CACHE. It's pronounced as cash only. Okay, and then there is a cookies like COOKIES. So those are the ones whenever a civilian is browsing, right? It can be of anything, right? Or shopping. So those are the ones, again, it collects those data and have it in the system, operating system. So then I said, design that also. Go design it, redesign it. Because when those going to have those data, it's going to create lot of errors. So when I was providing this education, one side, people who never have any clue about software, they got educated in a user-friendly layman way. And software operating business operations, right? Like public sectors and private sectors like Hewlett Packard or any banking sectors or welfare services, they became vigilant and they made those changes to have their browsers in a secured way. And Apple and Google and Microsoft, on their basic foundation level, they were making their changes on their browsers on the highest. So it was a 3 different tasks I provided, and worldwide, all nations, means exponentially help at the same time. Got it? It was not just only for one thing like that. It was exponentially help I was providing, simultaneously, same time. So I was saving a lot of revenue for all nations after all by my wisdom education alone. So so it is only a baby steps, right? The address bar, it's one of the core operation functionality of a browser. Okay, but then you all must be wondering how evolved it is right now, right? It is because of the wisdom education, it's a team, knowledge sharing, right? It's not, I would not say, see, because they made a mistake in the design, they are low, just because I'm displaying the error, I'm great. No. God gave me the wisdom, right? And I'm educating the wisdom. That is all. See, for me, when adult is using a laptop, or a child is using a laptop, or a grandpa or grandma is using a laptop, it should be in the safest mode always. People should not be in a panicking mode. Oh no, the child is going to use the laptop. What the hell is going to happen, like that? Or for grandpa, grandmas, they will not have any clue. Okay, so there is that in-between generation, right? The people not in the toddlers mode, not in the children mode, and the people not in the old age mode, and not even teenage mode, right? Teenage mode are also only children age only, right? They are all having very innocent brains, so very vulnerable and easily can be exploited. So that means how safe and secure these products have to be, right? So being men's club, they missed out on a very important design part. There should never be any parental control. No, that itself is a waste of the time and labor. But then how they cannot even remove it, because if they're going to remove it, everything will crash. So best thing they can do is just disable it, or work on other options on how to overcome that. There's never need for that. And then the private browsing and public browsing. I educated why there needs to be 2 types of browsing, right? So, but then they are men's club, right? So they wanted to create those 2 browsing. So it is my understanding the private browsing is all for the secret browsing, I would say, when men or when women or they want to look into any of the adult content websites or like that, nobody wants to see what they are browsing like that. It's a foolishness, right? Why they want to even create that at the first place? So there should be only one browsing, that is all. Make it simple design, right? Anybody who is using the browser should be in the safest mode, period. Why even want to create a private browsing? Why creating that much labor has gone wasted, right? So I educated, still it's there. Still the private browsing and public browsing is there. And they know it was an error. They have to fix it anyways. Because this is only one part, my dear fellow mankind. Now let's say civilians is taking the laptop, okay, traveling. And when they're traveling, it will be either in railways or in a airport. Those are the two common traveling, and of course oceans means it always will be the cruise for vacation only. I don't think people will be taking laptops when they are in a vacation mode, but there are some workaholics who even take that, but that's a very rare percentage. Okay, so now when they're going to the airport, they will have to get the internet access. Otherwise, they cannot work on whatever the browsers. Browsers will say, sorry, the page is not found, internet is not there. So they have to get the internet connection. So when they are in the airport, I'm talking only very major. So okay, now leave out the airport. If the people wants to go out eat, right, in a Starbucks or wherever, they are going to use their internet services only, right? So that is not secure, okay? Because your information will be shared. It can be shared. Why? Because when people are using those Wi-Fi, the internet connection that is not secured, it is being shared. When it is shared, the data is also getting shared. So that's how the data breach, data hacking, system hacking happens. So that is why when people are paying for internet services, they get a secure, they make sure that they're getting a secured internet thing. That is why even if you go and click on that internet connection icon, that pulse icon, it says it is secured with a lock, right? And then there will be listing with that unlocked also available. Do you want to join? Means it is best for the population not to join that, but unless and until there be a need, right? And then there is another option for hotspot, and that is provided by the internet services and the telecom services as well. That is meaning when there is not internet, then they themselves will provide that free internet in a secured way. That's what it means. But then in this, with this design error in browser itself, can you all imagine everything else becomes invalid? Even getting the internet, sharing the internet, right? Can you all see? So I was educating why the browser designs is error. I even went on session by session in browser when I was educating. Okay, that status report or whatever it's, the bottom of that browser, I was educating every single thing, and I was telling them, hey, go redesign it, because these errors will create a lot of disaster. And so if you go to the public workplace, public sector workplace or private sector workplace, you all might have seen that how restrictive this browser usage is, even to the extent that back button, the forward button also, they would have freezed it. They would have disabled it, right? Because of my education only, because it's all going to create havoc. And so I was educating all these, right? Go redesign this part in the browser, this part in the browser, and that part in the browser, and they accepted, meaning they realized their mistake. So that's what everybody does, right? When I was only educating as a true friend, as a guardian angel, because what do I gain out of that? You tell me. If I've not provided the education, then only I am not helping them. On the other end, when I am standing up and standing on the ground and saying, hey, it is wrong, do it rightful way. When I'm guiding and directing them in the rightful way, then I am a soldier of God. Got it? So they realize okay, this lady is providing wisest education. Why can't we redesign it? And that is how the Windows, after a long time, they just left it out. I don't know for what reason they want to leave it out. Probably I already said, you name any public government services worldwide, they're using only, most probably they'll be using only Windows. So they are making a hell lot of money out of that alone, right? But they should have stepped in and provided a healthy option to all the public sectors, which they never did. Okay. Then that is how the Windows 10 came to be Windows Edge. Are we all in the same page on that? Okay. Then what more I educated was, I don't know, probably 95% or 99% of the population must have used Windows, right? Okay, let's go down on that memory lane process. When we were using those Windows, there used to be a lot of pop-up windows, like small message box windows, right? It used to, when we are browsing, it used to come and it always, all of a sudden just freezes out and boom, it will be gone. I mean, your system will crash. So Windows never even bothered to fix that either, because they were making a lot of money out of that. Because when laptop crashes, then the people have to shell out another money, you know. So how many people went and bought you know, the laptops that has the Windows operating system, right? Like Hewlett-Packard, and it will be not even 1 year or 2 year, it will crash, and they have to go shell out another $1,000, right? So it was like this for a never-ending loop. People were not able to figure out what's this happening. And you all might have aware of that pop-up block. Even in the workplace, even in the working, you know, the public sectors, or they were having that issues. And it was mostly only in the Windows only. And that is why the antivirus and Norton, they made money out of it. Can you all see how medical field making money? The similar way, the software world also were making money by creating errors alone. Got it? So this pop-up windows, it was like too much of annoying when people were using their systems, right? So then, in order to stop it, the antivirus and so many people, and then there was fooling, oh, there is a spyware, there's a malware, oh no, your system got crashed, like this kind of a message will come. That's how it will get freezed. Your system will get hacked, right? Everything will get corrupted, all your files will be gone. So people were wondering why on the earth this laptop, which was, they bought it out of $1,000, close to $1,000, it got crashed all of a sudden. So I educated them. Okay, go and redesign the browser that it should never provide pop-up blocker window. That is when the Microsoft and Apple and the Google, they realized what exactly is the cruciality of the you know, the design error they made on their browsers, because they were only concentrating on how fast as they could provide the browsers to the civilian, because they want to make money. But they never thought that all these pop-up blocker errors, or this tab errors, or the favorites and bookmark errors, or the cookies and cache errors would create a disaster for the civilians. They never thought about it, because their mind was not working, right? Sometimes it happens. Even for me, when I work, sometimes I will even overlook it. It happens. But then, that is why we all need that true friend, that wisest person who is always there at the back and watching, and always stands up and guides everybody in the rightful way. Like that only I guided. See, if there were 7.9 plus billions of humans, and in that you quarantine only software world population. And then you group all the male software population and group all the women software population. Nobody stood up and said the browsers is wrong, the design is wrong, because survival mode, they will be laid off immediately, right? But for me, I just stood up. At the cost of being mocked, at the cost of being hated, I just stood up on my ground and I said, hey, it is wrong. Go 3 days a night. Go. I just slapped on their face, and that's how they redesigned it. Because they know the cruciality of the design error, how it is creating disaster for the fellow mankind, down to the household level, head count level, it is destroying brain nerve cells, right? Because see, pornography, people getting addicted to pornography is one side. That is a disability. That is one type of a leprosy disease after all, right? Then when people are browsing through the nets or working, on their day-to-day chores, just like that, there's unwanted, unhealthy pornography or obscene or sexual violent content, it's coming a pop-up means, then that is wrong, right? People are paying $1,000. They have to pay at least provide an investment of $3,000 to even have an internet connection, right? When civilians are providing that hard-earned money to get all these services, the Apple, Google, and Microsoft, they cannot give any excuse. They lost eligibility to apologize to the entire human kingdom after all. See, population cannot talk, right? Because the cruciality of the crime is deadliest. I am talking for them. That's all. It's as simple as that. I am standing in front of all the 7.9 plus billions of humans who are using software products in any form or the other, and I'm talking for them. I'm the mouthpiece for them. Means it is okay if Microsoft hates me. It is okay if Google hates me. It is okay if Apple hates me. I sure will get the civil justice for entire human kingdom, right? So they really understood that cruciality of that blocking the pop-up. They worked on it. It's all only in the working process only, I would say, because it's a long way to go. They are still only in the evaluation process. But how on the memory lane, when we see that the initial Windows, today if you're going to see the Windows, how it has got evolved, right? That happy moment, the enjoying moment, it is good, right? When you see that line of business product, how it turned out to be in a good way, in a healthy way. So I provided that wisdom for them. So that is how now you see, if you're going to see Windows logo, Chrome logo, Apple logo, they all look more and same. So that is why I said work as a team. Work as a team. Yes, they have their own design solutions. That is a business process model they use, right? Google has its own business process model, Apple has its own, but I said beyond that indifferences, work as a team. Because you all are providing the same products only with the different brands. And that is why each one of you all are nations. Because I already said, there are people who are fanatic love only for Google products. So same for Apple and same for Microsoft as well. So I said, work as a team. Go redesign whatever the product error is. Just redesign it. It is good. It is for the healthy services I'm asking. Because lot of more changes going to come. When lot more changes is going to come for good, when the browsers are errored out, then that will create a problem. So listen to me, go redesign your browsers. This is what I educated. That is like a teacher, how a true teacher will guide the students in a rightful way. That is what I provided. They understood it. Initially, they must have only cursed me, because entire labor is vain means who will like it? Nobody. Even I would not like it, right? Nobody will like it. But then just the way it is, somebody has to say it out loud. Hey, it is wrong. Means somebody has to do that job. And I did that job. The Microsoft never had a clue that this Vethapriya only will slap on the face of Microsoft. Microsoft is thinking Microsoft only God ruling the earth, so nobody can ask like that. Same thing goes for Google and Apple. And I was the one who slapped on their face and displayed the errors. Go redesign your browser. Okay, so this much time took. And yes, my dear fellow mankind, be patient because we are handling a very important, crucial issues, right? So, browsers, you all got it. How I explained to them and how they are still working on it and how it got evolved, right? The tab usage, the favorite usage, and the cookies and cache usage, right? And then what more I educated was plugins means it is almost like a switch, right? So let's say if you're in your household, there will be a switchboard, right? And it will have a switch number 1 for your living room, switch number 2 for kitchen. So then it will be easy for the electrician to find the root cause. So I provided the same in an healthier way. Hey Microsoft, hey Google, hey Apple, go provide switch processing. And instead of calling them as a switch, they are calling it as a plugin. Meaning, if at all they want to add any media to the browser, or if at all they want to add any other applications to their browser, then they can provide the switches like that. Plug 1 is for Facebook media, plug 2 is for plugin 2 for Twitter, plugin 2 for Yahoo, plugin 2 for any news channel. Like that means then it will be easy for them to configure, right? Be it in the workplace, public sectors, or wherever, it will be easy for them to configure, and they can say, hey, yes, this web browser upfront should have all this on the bottom line of the page or in the top of the page or wherever accordingly to their customized needs. That is how everybody, all the browsers or all the web pages, they have a template. It became like a template. I was educating and providing like a template means anybody can use it. My wisdom education, anybody can take it and use it and customize it according to, that's how it was an excellent design I was providing. So if you go and look into any web page, right, they have Facebook, they have Twitter, they have YouTube, they have media types or anything with just a logo means it's all because of my education. I said, go do like this. Then there will not be any errors, right? Then it will be easy. If at all there is an error, then it will be easy to trace it and track it down. So if there is an error provided by Facebook, then Microsoft can say, why Facebook you did not fix that? Right, or Facebook can say, oh, see, you only included me in my Microsoft browser. Now there is an error, you provide that error, and then they will be in a healthy teamwork, they can fix it without impacting the civilians' day-to-day chores. So that is how the design should be, my dear fellow mankind. I provided it should be very simple. I said on a very first sentence, excellent design should be any civilian should be able to work on the line of product in a click of a button. That is all. How simple it can be. Maybe I would even go to the extent of using at the voice. When a civilian says one word, boom, it should be able to do the transaction. Means that is way long. We are still waiting for that. Okay, people are still working on that. It's a dream come true. No, don't confuse with I had a dream talk of that Martin Luther King. I know you all are laughing. No, sorry, I am not Martin Luther King. I am Vethapriya. Okay? Yes, I am a comedian. I can provide timely comedy, healthy way, in healthy ways. Okay? So yes, so this is pretty much it. So I provided all this on a very high level. I displayed the error. A true designer only can display the error and can also provide the solution. Right? So I also provided the solution and they are all still working on it. Okay. Now, the third part. The third part is what I said, generic. Why generic? It's all software languages. I already said, right? The laptops are all what? Machines only. If you are not going to have electricity, it is waste. $1,000 of laptop is waste. Or when you are working on some important files and all of a sudden the power shuts down, then the laptop is waste. Laptop is waste. Okay, so because it's a machine. Even for your internet connection to work, you need to have electricity for the baseline. So that I explained in all my earlier sessions. So this is for the laptops itself to understand. The browsers needs to understand, right? 1 plus 1 equal to 2, and the people need to write logics based out of that. Means that is how and why they created languages. So it is different from the spoken language. I am speaking English and I can speak Tamil because I am Tamil from Tamil Nadu, right? So it is the same for my peers who can speak English and French, who can speak English and German. People are bilingual and it is good to be bilingual, right? I also educated that as for a wisdom. It is always good to be bilingual. So there are different languages. One is C sharp. The C, you all need to know that's the evolution on that end as well, right? Because initially, it's my understanding the legacy systems, even still people have those very old legacy systems, right? Meaning they can store a lot of data in a secured way like that. But then it was like more speciality kind of a talent. That is why mainframe programmers like COBOL, there were like very old languages, Photon and all, But COBOL is the one that is, I think it's still there in the market, being used in worldwide. But then if you see the age, it's so old, like a grandpa mode, I would say. Because it is more of a specialty talent, right? The mainframe means only mainframe programmers alone can code, can understand, can do it, and it's all based out of those commands and everything people needs to learn. But one way I would say, it's if they train the younger generation, it still be a useful thing only to have it as a talent, because it is my understanding it's all based out of commands only, right? And as I said, the talent is when these kind of see, one thing they made a mistake on the software world is they create fear for the civilians, telling that, oh, only these people alone can get into the software. So that is a wrong notion. So there again I stepped in, I slapped the entire software world and I said, stop providing that kind of a fear to the civilians, first of place. And I educated, when a civilian is willing to learn on the job training, that is all is needed for a basic minimum to hire a civilian and provide the training and educate them. It's not easy. I mean it's not a rocket science. Like anybody can cook more, right? So I educated like anybody can cook with little bit of training. People can get trained and they can get into the software world. So please, software world, do not mock, do not create that fear that civilians cannot get into the software world and create a picture as if software world population are only gurus or pandits or cards like that. Don't create that kind of a picture. So again, one more time, they got the fire slap from me, the entire software world. And I provided the pathway for healthy job creation process. I said, hey, no matter what, whether the people are experienced or intern or summer intern or recent graduates or less experienced or having breaks in their career because of their family situation, right? Family sabbatical kind of a thing, they have to take a break. Give them an opportunity. Just do not let go of the holy talent get wasted. People have all the talents. See, my talent is different from my peers' talent. That is all. That is the fact. That is the truth. Nobody can steal nobody's talent. So then I stepped in and educated. See, in a team, there will be always a team. It's always a teamwork. Okay. So there will be a team, because there needs to be a person who steps in and guides and directs, and then this task to be done by this people. And the true leader will know. Give this task to this person and see it will be done. Means a true leader only can identify that. That is why when there needs to be a leading and guiding part, a true leader only should step in and guide. Because the leader will know who should do the task correctly. Because that is how leadership is being displayed. Okay. So standing out all in the crowd always. And the true leader will make all in the team leaders. So that is the first attribute of a true leader. Okay, he's a wisest. A true leader is always wisest. It's also wisdom. So I stepped in and educated in a team in a software world. Nobody will know what they're going to get into. Be it software developers, be it database creators, be it business teams. In fact, business client, the people who are sponsoring for the project, they will never even know what's going to happen. All they will say, this is what we want for a product. I mean, this is so basic, generic level, right? They will say maybe add on more. This is what we want for insurance, life insurance. Can you all get any clue from that sentence? No, right? But then the developers, the software developers will have to break their head. And they'll be given the requirement, this is what it is, but then they'll start coding with whatever they know. Because these business clients people, they will say one and they will want something for a thing, but they will not be in a position to explain that in a clear way. It's not their fault, but that's how it happens for real time. So the software code, they already have to work on their logic, because the only time constraint, right? So time will be given. Within 2 months, you want this product. You stand upside down, you sleep. We want this product at the end of this month, like that. They will give and they'll go. So people cannot ask any question to the business clients. You will be fired. You will be laid off, right? So there again, we have to set up a meeting and educate to them why there needs to be more time, why there needs to be a delay, why this cannot be done upfront like that. But what is a mistake? One side, the business clients don't know what exactly they want. They will not provide that clear sentence. It will be a vague, and from that, they have to catch up what they're saying, and they have to create a logic and start writing the code. Okay, these software people are good in writing the software codes, right? And it's a complex task. It's not easy. They have to drain their brain. By the time end of the day, their brain will be fully drained of thinking of what is the logic should be, what the algorithm should be, how the steps should be followed, like that. So they will create the software code. Now, there will be who in the team? People have to say whether this application is okay, stable way, or it's not working. So they will be saying if there are any errors, they have to point it out. Now, I already said in this entire software team worldwide, the people who are never liked by the team are always the testing team who has to display the error of the system. Why means I already said, for Apple, Google and Microsoft, when they spent all their labor in creating a errored browser, when I said it's wrong, that itself they cannot handle it. So it's the same thing only because the software developers would have spent their hard labor, blood, and they would have written the software code, and all of a sudden this testing teams, they are going to say it's wrong. So there will be politics, the team politics. They will immediately make sure how to scapegoat these people, or they will have to chew it. But then it's not It's not unhealthy way, it's a unhealthy way, right? So I always educated, hey, we, the testing people, in the team, I educated that the testing team are the bridge between the software developers and the business clients, and by displaying the errors, they are actually helping the software developers after all, right? So that means they will be busy in coding only. They will not even have a time to go through whether the business client to understand that, or because they are time constrained, they have to finish the software code within, and they're good at that. They are excellent in doing that. Only they can do. That's why software developers, they are like time savers. Within a second, they will provide a magic and they will fix whatever that is error. So it is their job. So I educated in a team. There will be softwares, there will be testing team, there will be designing teams, there will be business clients team, there will be database teams. Nobody will know what's happening until the product is fully comes into a fruition. Only when it is getting into the production mode where it can be used by everybody. Until then, people will not know. So during that time, from start to the end time, it will be working as a one family only, with all the indifferences, conflicts of interest, right? Meaning there will be a conflict of interest. People should know how to handle conflict in a healthy way, right? When team members are not getting along well, the team managers will not like it. But there is always that a newspaper in the team, who knows everything in whatever going to happen or happening in that entire work. There will be one newspaper always. So it's everywhere, worldwide it's there. And people will not like the newspaper kind of a person, but still they have to live with it, deal with it, handle with it, and that's how they deal with that in the workplace. And there will be always a comedians, there will be always a workaholics and work mode like that. And people have to handle everything and just work. And sometimes people are not like the annoying team. Sometimes when they want to scapegoat a team member, they might even provide more workload for that team member himself to quit, like that, something. So it can be on any variations and versions. I'm just providing some kind of an example for a user-friendly natures only, for a friendly education purposes only. Okay, so when all these things are happening, so the software program language is for writing the codes for the machine to understand. It's called as machine learning after all. Okay, so that's why they hire the software coding people. They'll say, oh, do you know C language? Do you know Unix? Do you know Linux? Do you know Python? Do you know R language? Do you know Selenium? Do you know automated tool? Do you know manual? This, that, blah, 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 Java, JavaScript, VB script, C language. And they will come, they will write the code. Those languages will not discriminate Apple, whether it's an Apple browser or whether it is a Microsoft browser or whether it is a Apple browser. It will work. Regardless of browser types, it will work. Unless and until the software developers, they missed out any on the configuration or the compatibility of the browsers. So that is why the browsers need, and then I also educated, provide a compatibility of the browser means every software browsers, they are coming up with the versions every single day, patches and errors and maintenance and new things are adding on. So the software, when they're writing, it should be compatible. So then it should not be very specific. See, this software code is written for only old version of that Windows 95. If you are in Windows 2021 or Edge, Windows Edge, this software code will not work. That is wrong design. A design should be compatible regardless of whatever browser types. I educated that also. So that they can put it on a switch mode, right? So if they're going to write the software algorithm logic, they can provide it in a switch. If a switch one is Windows 95 or Windows 97 or Windows 98 or Windows Millennium or Windows 10 or Windows Edge, and version, for each and everything there will be version 1.0, version 2.0, like that. Whatever version it is, work fine. This is how they have to write the code. That is an excellent design, right? Then that means what will happen? It will work for any browser, any version, right? Without any disturbances, because when these kind of a stopper comes, means then the business operation will get impacted, right? It will throw up error, the system will throw up error, and they have to go and fix it. It's all labor cost after all. So this particular session is what? How many software languages are there? And how many databases are there? Common ones are DB2 for mainframes and Oracle SQL queries for web applications. And that's how it's being evolved. People are saying web application, people using that web application is very easy than mainframes. Why can't the legacy systems be shut down? But it will not go. It will be there because of its usability, the reliability. It will be there, but only thing is it will be on one layer, and all the other layers might be only in web application, just for a safe mode, security mode. That's all. That is my understanding. That's all. So that is what the software language is all about. Okay. Now tell me, what they marketed, the software people. It is 1 hour and 31 minutes. It might go longer. Please be patient. So what the software people educated the public services, government. See, we software or the gurus, we software or the pandits, we software or the guards. We can make everything paperless, all automated only. So good. Like that, they get the contract. I know all people are laughing. All people in the software, including Apple, Google, Microsoft, are laughing along with me, and I'll still laugh at them. This is how they get the contract from the federal government or the state government, and it will be in $1 billion or $1 trillion according to the project. Now what they will do? They will have to delay the project. They will say, we can do everything paperless, everything automated. See, this is how the process goes. Oh, wow, how fantastic it is. Then they'll get in the contract, okay, the government contract. And then instead of finishing they will say, this is the target time, 1 or 2 years we'll finish it. But then they will just delay it and make it to be 5 years, 10 years, and still there will be errors. So that means initial budget itself would have been skyrocketed. They would have scheduled it for 1 billion. It would have skyrocketed for 100 billion or 5 because of the labor cost and because of this delay here and there. And along with that, errors also. So browser's error is a crucial one. It is the foundation one. Foundation itself is broken. So anything you are going to build out of that broken browsers, all will be broken is the wisdom, right? So that is how everything got crashed. Now tell me, Adobe and all, Oracle, they are telling, see, we are very secured, right? The internet is very secured, like that. But then how on the other, then there is a cyber attack, data breach, pornography, prostitution, adverse software, obscene images, right? How? These software languages only created. So can you see how innocent are the software languages after all? They are non-living things, right? If you're going to write a software code in Java, Java and Java 2E, 2E, or those are the family, same family, JavaScript, VBScript, right? They'll never know that these programmer coders, software coders are going to create a havoc for the fellow mankind. Otherwise, they would not even allow the software developers to even use their codes, right? So can you all see how God never created pornography, God never created cyber attack, God never created any of the adverse software, and who created it? One more time. Yes, it is Pope Francis, yes, it is Queen Elizabeth II. And these software developer coders, they are only work for the monthly paycheck. So they do not have any clue on the highest level of the scandal. And even the CEOs or the CFOs, right, the founders, the managers, the higher level managers, right, regardless of the genders in the software world, they do not have any clue that they are all being slaughtered and butchered, and they have been mandated to get into this kind of a crime without any awareness. It's a crime. It's a crime to provide adverse software to the population. They're injecting poison. That is wrong, right? Microsoft do not have any birthright to inject poison to the population. And Apple do not have any birthright to inject poison to the population, because the poison directly impacts the brain nerve cells, right? That is wrong. So I went and explained more education. Hey, go redesign your messenger apps. So let's say if the man and women, calling it a love mode and want to converse, right? Provide a conversation. Highly educated, sexting is never comes under the classification of love. It comes under the classification of domestic violence, because it is a fake love, right? They want to provide a mask of love, and they want to, hurt each other. Name calling each other in a vulgar way, filthy way. That's never a love. But then, why I am an excellent disciplinarian, I took a cane and I slapped on the face of Apple, Microsoft and Google, and I said, go redesign the messenger in such a way when a man and a woman wants to converse in unhealthy languages, provide a message, pop-up message. See, you are not conversing in a rightful, healthy language. This software products are exclusively created for holy public services. If you all want to converse in healthy language. Provide that as a warning message for them. So that is one way of disciplining. Then, even if they by mistake they provided any filthy or classification of conversation, boom, delete it immediately on the spot. And then again provide, sorry, you here, if you're going to use the software products, you have to be responsible and accountable, because this is for holy public services only. I provided all the guidelines, I provided all the step-by-step process, and software world are still working on it. Still working on, and still the messenger apps are still in the evolution process only. So, by providing that wisdom education, I did what? I did a multitasking. I healed abusive patient on that spot. Meaning, only if there's a clean love, they'll converse. Otherwise, they'll not even bother to. They'll not even bother to converse in an unhealthy way. Right? Then, I also saved the Apple and Microsoft and Google from getting more curse when they are providing toxins to the population. It's only because they allow that kind of processing. That is why the civilians are providing that kind of unhealthy stuff, right? What upfront, if they are going to get said disciplined upfront, then either ways people are helped each other. The revenue for the nation is getting increased when people are becoming wiser, right? When people are conversing in a healthy love language, the nation becomes rich. When people are conversing in a unhealthy, adverse love language, the nation is becoming poor. What more of a education does anybody need? It's an excellent education, right? This is what I educated. So on the messenger side also, they are working. It is only in the baby steps mode because it's a lots of logics, right? The algorithm software lines have to hit and validate everywhere it's going to hit. I already said, when you're going to listen to a song, music, there are having 5 products in Apple and Google 5 app products and Microsoft 5 products. 15 products per head count means, imagine for 7.9 plus billions, 90% are using software products worldwide. And one song in one product, 15 products per head count in 7.9 plus millions. There is not only one song, there are zillions of songs. That is how the data is exponential, out of control. And that is why software world are panic mode. Even today, even as of today, they are only in panic mode because they know what are the errors and they are still working on to fix it because they need people. They need labor. They do not have enough people to do that work. So one side medical field wanted lots of doctors and nurses. Software world wanted lot of people to get into their workplace and work. But who is providing all the roadblocks? Pope Francis. So yes, he surely will be gone to an ashes for all this crime he has done. Right? Who is Pope Francis to destroy the Microsoft services? Who is Pope Francis to destroy Apple and Google? But he did it anyway. And people are living with it. That is wrong. They all will get the medical finance compensation. They all will get the medical finance compensation. And I educated that Apple, Google and Microsoft will surely get the medical compensation. And already USA government funded them with lot of dollars already. That itself is one of the proof. So, me providing the education, the overview for exclusively the software program languages alone took what? 1 hour and 41 minutes. I will run through the civil justice sign off. And I have all the proof in the video clipping, the screenshots. You can go and look at it. So that means when all the software products are there, all the quality preventative measures are there, all the project management process are there in place, why the United States of America created robocall poverty for me? Got it? Can you all see how everything got traced only to Vatican? Nowhere else. It is Pope Francis enforced the software world to create robocall poverty. And yes, I want the software world to pay me a tax-free $500,000 billion direct deposit in my bank account. If Pope wanted to create a hell, they should have slapped on the face of Pope. Yes, I get it that they were in the survival mode because if they are going to slap on the face of Pope, Pope will kill them. Pope will kill Microsoft. Pope will kill Apple. Pope will kill Apple, Google. Fear mode, survival mode, slave mode, dependent mode. And I just stood up. I stood up in front of Microsoft who cannot talk. I stood up in front of Google who cannot talk. I stood up in front of Apple who cannot talk. And I'm talking for everybody. Because everybody became victims of abuse here. Everybody sailing the same boat. Software world is a prostitution services. Who is going to pay for the damages done? Who? USA cannot fool population anymore. President Joe Biden must resign immediately. Everything is, the crime is skyrocketing. And President Joe Biden cannot shamelessly or shamefully stay in White House. Sorry. He should get out of the White House immediately. It's the healthiest bailout process I can provide. Okay, so with that said, I will make sure I will finish this civil justice sign off right up in next 15 minutes, at least close to 2 hours. Yes, my dear fellow mankind, when the crime is so deadly, yes, it needs to be addressed. It needs to be fixed on that spot without any delay. When these kind of processes provide for non-living thing robots, why they never provided to fix it? Because it will save the entire human kingdom. Are human soul less than robots? Tell me. It is humans who are building the robots after all. So humans are so important, right? Don't you all think so? Can you all see how education destroyed humanity after all? Right? Software world people are educated population. They know at least 1 + 1 = 2. That it's a basic education I'm talking about. I don't even want to know whether they are engineers, whether they are scientists, whether they are whatever, whether they went to college, whether they are dropouts. No. We all know these people who founded Apple and Microsoft, they are college dropouts. So talent is everywhere. Talent is in the air. Nation should never waste the civilians' talent. But sadly, it is going wasted only. It is on purpose only. Because of that, how many people careers destroyed? How many people die out of the stress alone? How many people left out to be mocked, being unemployed for not fault of theirs? All created by Pope Francis. Every single crap is created by Pope Francis. You name anything. You name anything. Okay. For Vethapriya, so you all got it. So this session, if you want more detail, go and listen to my earlier sessions, and then you all will be in same page. And for that also I gave an overview, and that overview took almost 1.5 hours, right? So that is why I just want to cut down that overview part. If I'm cutting down the overview part, you all know it, the session is coming close to 5, anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes, or maximum 15 minutes, not more than that. So I will just keep that way. But whenever there's a need for me to explain this overview part, I have to do it, right? So people have to know. So that's why this audience who are not in the software world also will be understanding my education. They will know, oh, this is the scandal that's going on in software world as well. Oh my gosh. Because people were thinking software world people are gods. No, they are not gods. My fellow mankind, no. Got it? Okay. So for Vethapriya PROSE proved scandal of absolute monarchs and proved Pope Francis' Roman Empire King hero as of February 2021. Any salary as in tax-free billions of dollars, USA government can provide effective immediate using direct deposit to my bank account to Vethapriya PROSE, Native Indian tribe, Israelite type Christian Jew of Israel, Judah, Jerusalem true owner of all nations worldwide can help me. And I'm also displaying that I am the excellent caregiver in whole entire earth. I am the one who is going to help entire human kingdom to be freed from the chains of slavery provided by the dark ages of Rome, King Pope Francis. Right? I am the excellent caregiver. One excellent caregiver is enough for all the nations. All the nations. For past 500 years worldwide, all nations were fooled that only men are caregivers, men only gods, they should only rule, and they destroyed the national operations in pieces. Are they having any shame? In the name of men, because men only are God, like that, they fooled everybody. Take public sector's men's club. Private sector's men's club, government men's club. Everywhere you turn around, religion men's club. That itself is a scam and a scam. And they proving every single day they are the ones who destroyed the entire human kingdom. And who is the root cause? Everything traces to Queen Elizabeth II, this evil personification. yes, she will be thrown in volcano in Hawaii any moment. So the scandal is what? The scandal phases of Republica Europe nations worldwide is Republica Prostitution software programming languages. I'm just providing a generic word because there are a long list of software languages, and which I, with whatever best of ability, I've provided as a screenshot in the video clippings to be on the same page. You can review it, okay? They never educated USA Republican government can never enforce poverty, and USA can never create robocall poverty mandate to I, Vethapriya, PROSE, true civil lawyer, true civil doctor, true civil supreme judge, and it is fatal negligence of Republica Prostitution software programming languages to be fatal negligence. Either USA government should say knows who is Republica Prostitution software programming languages, or either USA government should say don't know who is software programming languages. Republica software programming language is credited robocall poverty mandate, and it is deadliest crime. It comes under domestic violence, right? When there is a civilian using a smartphone, there should never be any robocall that's created in any of the smartphones, right? When the US is providing utility electricity, only with the electricity any civilian can even get to access the smartphones or laptops or televisions. So that means utility services, it's also getting the crime curse of this Vatican after all. Got it? How the crime is exponentially increased, and this crime, the software programming languages crime, is classified as a domestic violence, and it comes under the subclassification of breach of duty, intentional infliction of emotional distress, causation and injury, battery and types, assault and types, false imprisonment and types, trespass to land and types, trespass to chattels and types. In true Christianity alone, there is never adverse software. That says it all. That says it all in a clear, crystal clear communication why the so-called Israel land, it's a fake Israel after all. It's a pure filth, right? The fake Israel leader Netanyahu cannot fool anymore. He cannot fool USA anymore. He'll be thrown in volcano only for whatever the crime he created. Fooling USA nation that fake Israel is Israel, it's a crime. I will say pay me first $500,000 billion. Who is going to pay for all this damages done? For the brain nerve cells damages. I, Vethapriya, PROSE, true civil lawyer, true civil doctor, true civil supreme judge, own this text for ongoing civil justice sign-off for myself. USA prostitution software programming languages with fatal negligence failed to educate. USA cannot create robocall poverty mandate, and by default created Republica. USA robocall poverty mandate. Why? Vethapriya, true civil lawyer, true civil doctor, true civil supreme judge, and Republican government GOP leader Mitch McConnell, President Trump, Supreme Court Judge Brett Kavanaugh on October 2018 enforced poverty mandate to I, Vethapriya, PROSE abruptly on October 2018, and Republican government of United States of America took away $4,500 on October 2018 abruptly and enforced finance debt of $10,210.38 since October 2018, October 2019, October 2020, and as of today in February 2021. And I proved how software world is creating hell, how software world is creating poverty, right? USA wanted to know who exactly is creating poverty. I displayed to them today, right? I should not be in the poverty mode. I should not be in that finance debt mode. I will say, USA, pay me $500,000 billion. And then think of creating poverty for anybody else. President Trump should have thought twice, thrice, forever before creating poverty for me. If at all President Trump was loving to create poverty for me, who should must have created poverty? To his family members. I will say, go create poverty for your family members. That he will not do, Because they all know when the poverty is enforced on them, they will die. So what happened to that humanity? Why USA producing all these foolish people and creating hell for me? I never asked for all these foolish people. I never asked. If only the Brett Kavanaugh, being a Supreme Judge, he could have at least stepped in and said, but he was the one who created all this crap to steal the rightful Supreme Judge job from me. Are they humans? Are they humans? You all tell me, my dear fellow mankind. Age factor gone. 3 years. I should have been the Supreme Judge on October 2018 itself. Imagine what kind of a destruction they did to me. I surely will get the civil justice rightful, my way, according to the Holy Bible guidelines only. Whether President Trump should say knows what is Holy Bible or President Joe Biden should say what is Holy Bible. Both of them are crap only. Out of those two craps, one is innocent in my book of civil law, and that is President Trump is innocent. President Joe Biden is not innocent in my book of civil law. It is okay if people are going to hate me for that. That's okay. And they also enforce finance disability to me. Who is USA to enforce disability to me when I am healthy mode? Who is USA to create finance disability to me? Who gave that birthright? Pope Francis and Queen Elizabeth. Let them pay the price. Let them get out of the earth. They created all hell. You name any hell, they created all hell for me. I never asked for Pope crap in this earth. I never asked for Queen Elizabeth evil crap in this earth. Who is USA to even allow those wild endangered species to live free in this earth at the first place? And creating hell after hell after hell without fixing anything? For how long population have to live with the torture and die with the torture of injustice? So, it is crime for Republica prostitution software programming languages when ruling USA. Never educated USA should never provide enforced poverty to I, Vethapriya, PROSE. So, civil justices, I, Vethapriya, PROSE want USA Citibank CEO to pay off my debt $10,210.38 in full and sign off tax-free $4,500. And Republica prostitution software programming languages, prostitution nations must sign off tax-free $500,000 billion per software language, per database types, per software line types. Grand total software lines worldwide will be the grand total of billions of dollars. I don't know how much the dollars will be. To be direct deposited in my bank account for all types of damages done by software world and selfish, cunning Islam, Judaism, absolute monarchs types world, endangered species and hell creators, and direct deposit to my bank account. So who on the earth is going to help in finance transaction? You all got it right. It is Holy Highness, God of USA, Queen Elizabeth II, Pope Francis, and Republican government of USA will provide the needful assistance in a safe and secure finance transaction to be provided to my bank account. Okay, and for I displayed the scandal with this program, software programming language error display. What exactly I displayed to USA? Queen Elizabeth II, Pope Francis II are the hell creators. That is what I displayed. For that alone, I want USA to rename the Lord Ripon building in Tamil Nadu, India after my name as Vethapriya Civil Justice Served. I, Vethapriya PROSE, should be the Vatican leader Civil Justice Served. Pope Francis should resign immediately Civil Justice Served. And I, Vethapriya, to be the Supreme Chief Civil Judge for all nations Civil Justice Served. And I, Vethapriya PROSE, to be the Supreme Chief, Family Law Judge for all nations, civil justice served. And I, Vethapriya, to become Global Poverty Relief Medical Director Chief for all nations to lead and guide World Bank, United Nations organizations, World Health Organizations, Center for Disease Control, Department of Children and Family, Department of Health Services, Department of Justice, Department of Revenue, Department of Agriculture, Department of Imports Exports, Department of Military, in all nations across the globe is civil justice served. And I, Vethapriya, PROSE, to be the ambassador for all nations starting with India is civil justice served. And I, Vethapriya, PROSE must get dual citizenship of USA and India is civil justice served. Got it? How my civil justice sign-off is itself a program logic after all, and why software world is aware that I am the fastest in any robo in earth. Can you all get it? I hope, wish you all get it. Right? Only wisest can understand my wisdom education, my dear fellow mankind. Okay? And be aware, I should get the rightful job, I should get signed off, and I should get the rightful salary, I should get the rightful finance aid, I should get the rightful national benefits. Everything must be provided by USA government only. Right? That too in front of all nations only. That is how all nations will know why USA is first of all handcuffed mode. Department of Health Services must pay $500 billion to me for damages done to me. It's fatal negligence. The Department of Services do not have any birthrights to be fatal negligent. Can you all see how softer lines of codes is written for all the public sectors? All are wrong. All got the crime. All got the curse of Vatican Pope Francis after all. Is the wisdom. It's not only Apple, Google and Microsoft. You name it. Everything got crashed in pieces. All got the crime is skyrocketing. The crime is skyrocketing. President Joe Biden will resign any second, is the truth. According to the Holy Bible guidelines of civil law. In my book of civil law, President Joe Biden should resign because the crime is superseding. I am not finding any kind of innocence in him because he is a lawyer and he has been lawmaker in entire life and he never bothered to fix any of the broken services. That is wrong. When he never fixed any of the broken services, when he had all the chances, how on the earth he is going to fix it now? That itself is a proof that he is a scammer. He is a scammer. He is going to destroy USA forever if he is going to continue in his job. He cannot fix it. Only I can fix it. And I am native Indian tribe. I am the true owner of USA. Okay? So yes, my dear fellow mankind, provide blindest faith in me. I sure will get the civil justice for 7.9 plus billions of humans, because all humans, regardless of whatever situation they are in, all became victims of abuse in the hands of the evil Queen Elizabeth II and Pope Francis. All nations sold the population as slaves to the absolute monarchs. That needs to be fixed now, immediate mode. I only can do it. I only can free all the people. I only can bail out USA. I only can bail out software world. Nobody can. I displayed all the proof. Internet wrong, utility wrong. How much of tax been collected for that? After collecting the tax, how shamelessly the software world are providing adverse software. That is wrong. Crime and in a crime. They cannot apologize to any of the population for their design error provided in their browsers. No, they cannot. They just cannot. So can you all see on the highest level how always the educated adult population only became evil hell creators? They never even bother to think that there are children, humans as well. Right? I educated the software world. Hey, do you all know there are one set of population called as children, younger generation population? First the time that education was provided, they were shocked. Apple was shocked, Microsoft was shocked, Google was shocked to hear that wisdom education, because nobody provided the education to them. They never knew there are children population in earth. Can you all see the foolishness of educated population in software world? Until I educated them, they never knew. They never knew. They started to panic. Oh my gosh, we forgot that important functionality. When they are going to see, when they turn back and seeing their own browsers, they realized what kind of a crucial crime they provided on the browser design. When browser design wrong, everything wrong. No. And for how long software is there? That many labor all went vain. You're going to go to insurance, there will be software. You name any of the government operations, there will be software, my dear fellow mankind, and all wrong. Everything wrong. Mandated to be wrong. Who is going to pay for those damages? How many software developers must have shed their blood and written the software codes? It's not easy, my dear fellow mankind, to write software code, no. They have to break their head first to identify what logic, what is algorithm, what is the step-by-step process, and then they have to start writing the software code, and if there is any syntax error, they have to fix that. They should not lose their focus when they are working on software lines of codes. They should not be distracted, disturbed. If you see the software development teams, they will be constantly sitting on one place and be working on. Means the brain is constantly working on those logics. By the time end of the day, when they are going to get out, calling it a day, going to home, their brain will be drained. People think, oh, they are how cool is that to have that job? Yes, it is cool, because people who likes to analyze, they will be in the software world. And that too, not the developers I'm talking about. I'm talking about the non-developers population who loves analysis, research and analysis. Oh, they sure will be in the software. People should love the job when they are in the workplace. And they should know that workplace is a holy place where they are going to create the nation out of clean love with the God-given wisdom only. They can even work in the workplace. Without God-given wisdom, nobody can work. So nobody is God's here. So nobody knows the real meaning of God itself is created the confusion. That is what the confusion is all about. And I will reveal what is the meaning of God later down the road. Okay? Thank you all for your time. It is 2 hours and 7 minutes. And yes, when handling this kind of a deadliest crime issues to be fixed, I'm providing overview, I'm providing education, I'm fixing it, I'm providing solutions, I'm also educating the population, I'm educating the government, I'm doing a multitasking after all. Yes, I'm signing the civil justice for myself, because I never asked software world to provide any adverse software to me. I never asked. I never asked for software at all at the first place. Right? Imagine the world before software, how people were living so happy, right? Even with that little bit of whatever they had. The software came and it destroyed everything, right? And I'm providing a bailout process, that is all. Redesign, fix it. It is easy to fix it. I can provide the guidelines. That's what I'm educating. Okay? So thank you all for your time. Take care. Bye now.